Did Jrue go for practice today?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
How do you look?
Good, totally healthy. Did what he expected him to do and fit right in.
How much have you been able to imagine just dig into how you utilized him this year?
Yeah, I mean, it goes back to like, what's the strength of our roster? How do we maximize each guy? And then what makes the most sense in each situation? And so I think the thing this year is like, every time we make a decision, because we're so good and so deep, there's always going to be like, we should have done this or we should have done that. But at the end of the day, you can only play 5 guys, and we're going to put the 5 best guys in that particular situation, and they're going to work to execute as best they can. So like, it's just coming up with anticipating what makes the most sense in each situation, and then how do we take advantage of that.
You guys have always been pretty equal opportunity with ball handling. Like, he handles the ball a lot in Milwaukee. Do you see him kind of easing the load on Jayson and Jalen and taking some of that responsibility away from them, given how good he is at that?
Yeah, I mean, you got Derrick, you have Jrue, you have Tatum. I mean, we have guys that have the ability to do that, and I think that'll play a part into like our late game execution is like who's handling, who's setting, who's spaced, and so just constantly going back to like what makes the most sense for those lineups at that particular time, and just trying to get great at executing that.
How long does it take to answer those questions of what does make sense?
Some of it's obvious, and then some of it you won't know until you're in that particular situation, right? And so I think it's just trying to anticipate what those are going to be, and then there's going to be times where the game calls for something different depending upon the matchup, who's playing well, who's not playing well, who's available, who's not available, stuff like that.
What was your reaction when hey, Jrue's coming in as a coach and having that as part of like your ingredient set for the season?
This right here, it's practice.
How much of an adjustment is it on the fly, though, to get that change the day before the season starts?
I mean, it wasn't that much of an adjustment. I think it's a matter of like, what does he do well? How can he help us? And then where can we plug him in that's going to help him the best and then help our team the best? And so it's not as difficult. There will be difficulties as we go along once we see, what the potential of each lineup can be. But in the beginning, it's like, he's a good enough player. We have smart guys who just fit in and play basketball.
You weren't supposed to go to that UFC fight, or you told people you weren't.
Oh, I know. I was so excited I got to go.
Yeah, can you tell us the story? Like, you were telling people you weren't going.
I wasn't supposed to go, but I was supposed to go see KP in Latvia.
Okay.
And I didn't make that trip, obviously, because he didn't end up playing. And so I was going to be gone that weekend in Latvia. And so once he didn't play, then it was free to go.
What was that like?
Listen, I like going. I don't care what's going on at the Garden. I like being at the Garden because it expresses what Boston's all about. And so you see different types of fans supporting different things. And so I've gone to the Old Dominion concert with my wife. I went to the UFC fight. I go to the Bruins game. I go to Celtics games. And like just being in that environment allows you to see the expression of the city. So that's like, it was cool.
Did you consider ever fighting UFC?
Yeah.
You would?
Yeah. You think I'm going to do this forever? You think I'm going to be coaching for a long time?
Wow. So, like, what attracts
you? I
you?
mean, let's take it one step at a time. I'm in the octagon training. Let's keep it there.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Speaking of atmosphere, what was the purpose of pumping in all this sound tonight?
That's what we do in the games. Yeah. We have recordings of all your guys' voices, so we're going to play those over the intercom.
Ask some questions.
They all crumble?
Yeah.
What's your process of installing in camp? I know Brad was kind of a whole guy. What is your process for that?
I mean, I think you have to put in a framework, but I like putting in stuff on the fly, seeing how they react, and then coaching it later on film. Because it gives them the freedom to kind of figure it out on their own. And I just think the way the league is, you can't be as rigid as you need to be flexible in what you're doing. So I enjoy kind of putting it in on the fly, going back into the film room, taking a look at it.
Kind of related to the going to the Garden anecdote, like it seems like you're a little more comfortable kind of in this position, whether it be around us or in the public. Like, are you? There's been a process of kind of embracing, understanding that you are in a significant kind of role in this city and what it means to other people in this city, or what?
Oh yeah, I mean, I think the first thing is I think the hardest adjustment for me last year was who am I as the head coach of the Boston Celtics, right? Like, you don't really have time to figure out that identity, and it's so you get it, and I'm just very emotionally guarded. I'm making sure I keep people at a distance, and I'm here to do a specific job, and that's it. And so I think this summer was a good opportunity for me to take that time to be okay, this is who I am, this is how I want to represent the organization and myself, and what that looks like in this new age of all you people giving a crap about what I say and think, which is something that I was never really used to. And so just getting used to the fact that people are paying attention to you is a hard shift, because you never want to become something other than just what you are, right? And the organization is more about the players, it's more about the tradition, and you know, I tried to hide as long as I could, and you guys brought me back out. So.
Having Paul Pierce here in practice, what's that like?
So listen, I sent an email out to all the Celtic former players because I felt like it's important that we share in this experience together. Like, they started the tradition, they kept it going, and now it's our responsibility as an organization to keep it alive. But when you don't see them all the time, you don't get that connection to the past. And the only past we have is the banners alone. And the past should be the banners, but it should be the people. And so I thought it was extremely important that any and every Celtic is welcome to a practice or a game so we can build that brotherhood of what we are. And I kind of compare it to college. Like, when guys go to the NBA, they always go back to their college to work out. You see that all the time. And so, like, we should be coming back here. And so I appreciate him and being there and extending that to everyone. And we just have to create that brotherhood, that environment.
How do you think it affects the players?
It's funny. So, like, I said this, like, if you, and it's to no one's fault of their own, but it could have a negative effect if we don't do it all the time, because then it's like we're making it about the past and that one guy. But if we normalize it, and you know, there's people around all the time, not just at a Game 7 or not just at a first playoff game, then it becomes like we're doing this together. And so I wanted to break that barrier of like once in a while and like all the time, anytime, whether it's on the team playing, team dinner, like we should have that open environment.
Does it sound like Paul is going to be here pretty regularly throughout the year?
I hope so. I hope a lot of them are. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so.
Thank you, Joe.